Good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required by law. Specifically, the revised annual notice was emailed to the West Essex Tribune and Star Ledger on February 28, 2023. The agenda and resolutions for the meeting are available on www.livingstonnj.org. Certain portions of this meeting may be closed to the public for the purposes of personnel and/or other matters as outlined in the Sunshine Law. Decisions made and/or discussed in closed session will be made known to the public at a later time. Notice to the members of the governing body and township staff. Any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purposes of township business, and any communications are subject to the Open Public Records Act. To the extent possible, this evening's Township of Livingston meeting will be live streamed via Facebook at www.facebook.com/LivingstonTownshipNJ. Questions or comments will also be accepted by emailing livcomments@livingstonNJ.org by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Each speaker should follow the rules of order set forth in Code Section 2-15. Carolyn, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Meinhardt.
Here.
Klein. Here. Begoli. Here. Deputy Mayor Anthony.
Here.
Mayor Vieira.
Here. So will everyone please stand and join me for a moment of silence? Can each of us reflect through our moment of silence, and let's continue to remember those in our community who are facing difficult challenges. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And today, Eileen Fishman is not available, so she is not here this evening. However, we do have 3 presentations on tonight's agenda. The first one is the Livingston Arts Council, and I'm happy to invite the chair, Barbara Sachs of the Livingston Arts Council, to give a short presentation of what the Arts Council is and the work the Arts Council does throughout our community. Barbara?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, for giving me this opportunity, and good evening, everybody. I'm Barbara Sachs. I'm President of Arts Council of Livingston, also known as ACL. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things about Arts Council that you might already know, you might have seen, and maybe some things that you don't know. So that's what this presentation is all about. The Arts Council of Livingston has been a township organization for over 30 years, originally starting in 1990. We are, we're a group of about 30 people. We're not giant size, but we're about 30 people of all ages and backgrounds. And we come together with the mission to bring the arts to our Livingston community by sponsoring assortment of art shows, theater productions, and musical activities. We also offer 4 scholarships a year to deserving Livingston High School seniors who are pursuing a career in the arts. We understand that individuals and families move to Livingston because they value the high quality of life. That includes the arts. Arts Council provides creative activities for Livingston and the surrounding area. Now, for over a decade, some of you might remember that we held an outdoor art show called Art at the Oval in the fall, and we showcased the work of many talented artists. This is something that we hope to bring back in the future. This free event enabled children and families to get together creatively as well as to view and purchase art. It was a lot of fun, and some of you might remember it. The annual Memorial Day Parade, which we just had recently, is another fun way to participate in some of Livingston's many traditions. Art shows in our town hall, our senior community center. We have one going on in this town hall, as a matter of fact. And our previous gallery home have shown the work of many award-winning artists as we invite residents, to view and purchase original artwork. We've also held shows in our gallery for the WAY Center, which stands for Wellness Art Enrichment, to showcase the art of disabled adults, and we've had some very fine work from them. These shows have been very well attended by hundreds of people, giving artists and visitors an opportunity to connect directly. You might recognize this slide on the left. There is someone familiar right there wearing a mask. And the slide on the right is a recent, a little party that we had right outside. Over the years, the ACL has also hosted fun activities like wine and paint parties for adults and cookies and canvas experiences for children. We sponsor trips to art museums and shows, including Grounds for Sculpture, the Museum of Modern Design this past April, and most recently, a trip to Princeton in June to see the historic Marvin Museum. And we are very grateful to Mayor Vieira for his assistance in making many of these trips possible. Special themed events like our Mardi Gras party, which is Come as Your Favorite Artist or Painting, have been popular for all who attend. Even more recently, our Zombie Walk in October gave our artists and Livingston High School students an opportunity to connect and get creative in a very different way. The person in the red wig shall go unnamed. For the music lovers among us, we've sponsored several musical performances, both inside and outside of our gallery space, including this jazz concert featuring the Bob McHugh Trio. We've also had Livingston High School students who play guitar. We've had lots of people participate. We know we love our music. The ACL has maintained strong partnerships with other town organizations, including our town library, where we held a screening of a Maya Angelou documentary by Rich Woods, a former LHS film student. This was shown during Black History Month. We've held galas to recognize those in our community who support the arts, including Jan and George Press, Ellie Cohn in the past, and last year, Nancy Diner and Hugh Mahan. It's a very familiar name in this town. Always looking for ways to bring art to our community, we recently presented our newest outdoor installation, Livingston, the Seat of Creativity. Original artwork was selected from over 90 submissions, was photographed by Livingston resident Jan Press, and reproduced on aluminum-wrapped vinyl by Perry Crimmy of Vital Signs, a local Livingston business. This exhibit has been widely and positively received by our residents, who have come to expect spectacular events along with all of the other things that Livingston provides. Our newest endeavor, there's some of our benches, how many people have seen this? Have you seen this bench art? It's really pretty spectacular. It's from Town Hall all the way to the center of town, and we kind of planned it along the parade route. But if you haven't seen it, get out and see it. It's terrific. The newest endeavor is to partner with the Outdoor Summer Concert Series at the Gazebo. And that provides residents an opportunity to view and purchase art before and during the concerts. That will be for 5 concerts, 4 in July and 1 in August. We hope that this will encourage artists to participate in future Art at the Oval exhibits. Again, we hope to bring this back. All of these activities have been possible through our home-based gallery in the Livingston Town Center, where we've been located for the past decade through the generosity of the Azarian Management Company. That relationship has unfortunately come to an end as a new tenant has leased our former space. To continue to bring art and events to Livingston, we need a new home. Although several options have been investigated and offered, including town-owned green space properties, the best possible location for a new art center for all of Livingston's residents, one that's centrally located and easily accessed, is probably right here on the Oval, which is our true center of town. The former recreation building has sat dormant for the past 15 years, being used primarily for storage. This very iconic structure is the only building on our Oval that hasn't yet been updated or used since 2010. It sits unused among our beautiful Livingston High School, our award-winning town library, the iconic gazebo, very well-used sports fields, and the new barn for the Camuso display. With the help of the township, we can turn this eyesore into a functioning art center for all of our residents to enjoy. Many of us might remember, I know I do, the former municipal court as a place to register for town activities. When I moved here in 1981, I registered my children there for pool activities. It was a lot of fun. And even once, I was told, as a former kindergarten classroom long ago, this space can become useful again. The building is more than adequate, providing art space and even extra bathrooms when we have town events. The time is right to bring this former WPA structure to its full potential as Livingston Center for the Arts. We've located a contractor who repurposes buildings such as this, and even a Livingston resident who owns a landscaping business who will do the work for free. The arts, as many of you understand, are an essential element of education, just like reading, writing, and arithmetic. Music, dance, painting, and theater are all keys that unlock profound human understanding and accomplishment, and that is from former U.S. Secretary of Education, William Bennett. So we hope that by working together, we can make Livingston an even better place to live and work than it already is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara. And I also want to welcome some of the members of the Arts Council here today. I don't know whether you want to stand up, but you guys do so much. You can stand up. Come on.
Bob Patton, Lois Dyer,
Yeah.
and Vivian Olshan, one of the founding members of Arts Council.
Yeah. So
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much,
everybody.
Barbara. Barbara, I'm not sure whether you mentioned it, but the original pieces for the Seat of Creativity, the ones that are out on the benches, those are going to be, the original ones are hanging in Town Hall. They're going to be auctioned in September, is that?
The pieces that are out now are going to be auctioned September 28th. We're still looking for a location. We've been calling a lot of places, but we're looking to have an auction for those.
Great.
So hopefully we'll see. And we have a couple of other things that are coming up. We have actually, Safavia Furniture has offered to give us a show as well. In September 20th, we're going to have a month-long show in Safavia.
Very good.
So
And-
it's exciting for us now.
And we look forward to the Arts Council participating at the concert series, too. So
Yes,
very good.
yes, we'll be there. We'll see you there for 5 Sundays with our tents, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Barbara. So tonight, I'm also honored to welcome this year's Livingston High School valedictorian, Jeffrey Zhu. Welcome, and our salutatorium, Kathleen Zhang. But before we get to both of you, I want to welcome to our council chambers the Livingston Board of Education President, Vanita Khanna, Vice President Pam Charles, and also Parul Khanna. Thank you very, Parul Kempka. I'm sorry about that. I always mess up your name. I am so sorry, Parul. But you know what? Do either of you three want to say a couple of words? Come on, you could do it. There's a microphone right by the podium right there. Ketan, right, just reach over. If you could just pull that up. Thank you.
Well, good evening, gentlemen and ladies. It's a pleasure to be in this room after a while. I used to be here for zoning board, and it's an iconic place. It's just very sweet. So thank you for having us over. And also thank you very much for honoring our high school valedictorian and salutatorian, because students who work this hard are the icons that elevate the status of Livingston as a township. We all moved to Livingston for its school systems. We all know that. I know I did 24 years ago, and my kids did K through 12. The Livingston upbringing is a class upbringing, and the portrait of the graduate that we've come up with, these students do not just bring academic excellence, but they actually fit the portrait of the graduate in so many ways. There are multiple facets to these beautiful gems. So thank you for having them over here tonight to honor them. I'm really humbled by that. Thank you so much. And I think they should speak, not me. Thank you.
And you know what? We are so honored, and I really hope that this becomes a tradition year after year of bringing the valedictorian and salutatorium to us, because even though it's part of the Board of Education, they are part of the Township of Livingston. So I really hope that this becomes a long-lasting tradition. But at this point, I'd like to do it's called a citation. I don't know why, but it's called a citation. And they laugh because everybody knows I hate that word citation, but we haven't figured out a new word for it yet. But recommendation, what is it? I'd like to say proclamation, but I need 4 other votes probably. But we'll take that vote maybe later on. But I want to do Jeffrey first. And Jeffrey, after I read this, there's a microphone there. You could have a couple words you could say. But the Mayor and Township of Livingston Council members are pleased to honor Livingston High School class of 2023 valedictorian Jeffrey Zhu for his outstanding contributions as the student body representative to the Livingston Board of Education, for being one of 5 Livingston High School seniors to be named a National Merit Scholar, for being one of 2 Livingston High School students admitted to the Governor's STEM Scholars class in 2022 and 2023. As a natural science and humanities enthusiast, he earned first place in the chemistry category of the North Jersey Regional Science Fair and was captain of the Livingston High School Science Olympiad and Science Bowl teams, and co-founded the International Youth Neuroscience Association. Congratulations on your achievement and best of luck in Princeton University. So.
Good evening, Mayor Vieira. This is on? Okay. Council members and members of the public. My name is Jeffrey Hsu, and I am the valedictorian of Livingston High School's class of 2023. It is an honor to be here with you today. 13 years ago, I began my academic career in the Livingston Public Schools. The moment I stepped into my kindergarten classroom, I knew that I was in for something special. From hatching ducklings in science class to collaborating in collaborative Play-Doh projects, my teachers, classmates, and parents instilled a boundless curiosity within me. Fast forward to the present day, nothing has changed. Whether it be solving a triple integral in multivariable calculus class, conducting experiments in the Science Olympiad Club, or advocating for my peers as liaison to the Board of Education, Livingston Public Schools has empowered me to learn, create, contribute, and grow. While the Livingston Public Schools played a special role in shaping me into who I am today, I believe that the Livingston Town Council is equally deserving of commendation. Your behind-the-scenes efforts have enabled the school district to fulfill its mission on a daily basis, and I'd now like to recognize some of those efforts. Thanks to traffic services, in conjunction with the police and fire departments, the schools and their surrounding areas are safe places to learn each and every day. Thanks to the Livingston Health Department, students and their families remain educated about best practices, health screenings, and vaccinations. Strong, healthy bodies lead to smart, vigorous minds. Thanks to senior, youth, and leisure services, students are able to unwind and have fun, focusing on their mental health and not just schoolwork. Thanks to your oversight of the Livingston Public Library, students have access to quiet study spaces and endless resources with which they can further their careers as global citizen learners. What I admire most, however, is your commitment to community engagement. People from all walks of life are welcomed, supported, and valued by Livingston through events like Juneteenth celebrations and AAPI Heritage Month. And I am grateful that this townwide emphasis on diversity has made its way to our school system. Diversity reinforces academic achievement. When we work and learn in the presence of a variety of backgrounds and cultures, we become more empathetic, conscientious, and perceptive. We become leaders who are ready to take on the world by storm. None of my achievements would have been possible without the steadfast partnership between the Livingston Town Council and the Board of Education. On the behalf of Livingston High School's class of 2023, I thank you, the Town Council, for your enduring support of our education system. I urge you to continue striving for solutions that are inclusive and effective, not just the ones that are easy. I urge you to continue engaging with the young people in our community. And I urge you to continue pursuing initiatives that uphold the Livingston Public Schools' legacy of equity, excellence, and empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have a plaque, and we're going to give the plaque out as soon as we hear from Kathleen. But Kathleen, congratulations on becoming the salutatorian. And I have let's call this one a proclamation. It does say citation, though, when you get home. The Mayor and Township of Livingston Council members are pleased to honor Livingston High School class of 2023, a salutatorium, Kathleen Zhang, for receiving national recognition through the Future Business Leaders of America Awards of Excellent Program, as well as awards from the New Jersey Health Occupation Students of America State Leadership Conference, whose mission is to empower young people to become leaders in the global health community through education, collaboration, and experience, as well as one of the co-founders of the International Youth Neuroscience Association, for initiating a program called Letters to Foster Children that has delivered more than thousands of letters and artwork to children in foster care. Congratulations on your achievement and best of luck at the University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, absolutely.
Time. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
You're
Thank you.
good.
Time has flown by. Well, not literally, since high school is 4 years, 720 days, 17,280 hours, and 1,036,800 minutes, which isn't exactly the shortest, but also means we have been together through lots of both sunny and rainy days. As we look at each of those moments, I couldn't help but feel a wave of emotions, realizing how influential everyone has been on each other's identities and high school experience. Yet now, we would have to say bye to that, after 4 years of going through ups and downs together. Even recently, leading up to graduation, I witnessed the compassion and strength of our community. When I had my salutatorian graduation speech removed for unjust reasons, I felt alone in an uphill battle against authority, with tears. However, as a last-minute attempt, I reached out and took the courage to contact our town leaders directly for the first time. To my surprise, it was my peers, teachers, and town leaders who reached out to me, ensured that I knew the rest of Livingston supported me, and made me feel important. When I was told to reflect on my actions by the school's administration, all I saw was the compassion and support that I had received from all the individuals in town. Even the night before graduation, when I was emotional about how my 14-year chapter here was closing, it was my family, friends, and town leaders who uplifted me and ensured that I still smiled and had fun the night before graduation. Despite not knowing many of these individuals prior to graduation, it was classmates I wasn't close friends with and many adults who affirmed me in how I was correct to fight for what I believed was right for our town and future students' lives. That's the beautiful part of Livingston. Even in our lowest times, we can look at each other for support and happiness, even if we were complete strangers before. Leaving this journey, I reflected that I never should have let fear or others silence my voice from speaking out earlier. After all, the difficult part about creating change is that not everyone will agree with you or have your best interest at heart. You will face pushback. However, when you persevere and continue to share your voice, you will find a community there to support you. Don't let anyone diminish your issue as unimportant. Change will never get made if every issue was viewed as insignificant or useless. Most importantly, the future will never improve. Be the reason why change is made, not the reason why injustice continues. Growing up, my favorite Disney princess was Mulan, simply because she represented me in the media in a time where there was little Asian representation. However, through the past year, I've learned that the true reason I loved her was because she represented everything I wanted to be. Despite the status quo barring her from the army, she went right ahead and proved why they were wrong, changing the minds of those against her. Coming from a first-generation immigrant family, I want to stand here to let you know that it doesn't matter how influential your parents are or background they came from. As the emperor in Mulan said, a single grain of rice can tip the scale. You can be the reason between victory and defeat. I want to make it clear that you should not let doubt or anyone remove your fighting spirit. There's a bamboo ceiling for us Asians to break into management and leadership roles in the workplace. We may be stereotyped, silenced, and face subtle or overt racism, but I want to make it very clear. I'm proud to be Asian American. Each of us have unique stories, and we are most certainly not the one-dimensional individuals that other people or even adults may unconsciously or consciously paint us as. We are athletes, we are leaders of the country, business, and science. We are also Met-level artists and Hollywood stars, and we are everything we want to be. Even though all of us may not know each other personally, we have crossed paths one way or another, and have created moments with each other that are unique and will be carried with us beyond this town. Just like many of you have supported and uplifted me the past few months, even when we are no longer in this town, we will all still be rooting for each other's successes, no matter how far apart we are. So make sure to follow your dreams, as these little memories in high school will continue to inspire each of us to live our lives to the fullest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have something to say? Councilwoman, you have something to say?
Yeah, I had written a little something. I am sure both of you have received many accolades for your achievements, both at graduation, from your local press, and as you said, from your family, community members, peers. Having been named valedictorian and salutatorian of your class is certainly a great honor, but it is a statement of your exceptional academic achievements. We know that academics is the reason you hold first and second place in your graduating class. But we also know, having read the citations that we read today, that it has not come without hard work, dedication, diligence, perseverance, and intellect. Beyond that, while writing your citations, our clerk wrote to us and said, we could not fit it all on the page. For you have many accomplishments that are far beyond just academics. You have excelled in your community in your acts of service, and you have performed them all to the betterment of others. Taking a page from Councilmember Klein, we did not want you to leave for Princeton or the University of Pennsylvania without knowing that Livingston is your home, and that it is one we want you to come home to and to feel valued, heard, and respected. May you both continue to embrace knowledge, reach for new heights, and make a positive impact in the world, and fight for what you believe is right, Kathleen. And when you take the world by storm, Jeffrey, may you both know that Livingston is your forever home and community, and you are all welcome home. Congratulations to both of you.
Councilman Klein?
I just also wanted to say, I wanted to really echo what Benita said, which is, it is the accomplishments of our students that lift the entire town up. It is when we see the achievements that you get to and what you've accomplished and where you move to in the future, that buoys the entire town. That is why the next generation of people come to this town, because they see what can be accomplished, they see how outstanding our schools are, and it is why we have the wonderful town that we do. I have said this many times before, and I say this as a graduate of the school. LHS is the most important institution in this town. It is something that we all have to be, we have to support the administration, we have to support the students, it makes us very proud to sit here and to listen to both of you, and we wish you all the best. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Why don't we go down and present these? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said no to
Since everyone's going to say anything, I'll just say.
I did ask you, by the
said
way.
yes.
Yes.
So I'll congratulate both of you, and your words are beautiful. Just two things I just wanted to point out. Jeffrey, you said something really important that I'm very proud of as well. The collaboration and how well the town council and the Board of Ed have worked together. Over the last 8.5 years of me sitting on the town council, it was one of the things I strive for the most. I know Vice President Charles has been with me throughout this whole journey with that as well. I know she feels the same way, as well as the other members who are here today. And so I really wanted to compliment you for your words and saying that, so I appreciate that. And to Kathleen as well, I also am a first-generation born American, and I loved your words as well. And it's just warming, heartwarming for both of you, and to all of your parents as well. And so congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. And again, I really hope that the town council can continue a tradition like this going forward. It really is nice. But let the council go down and make the presentations of the citations. So we're going to continue with our meeting, and at this point, it's an approval of minutes pending corrections. We have the regular and conference meeting minutes of May 30th, 2023, the conference minutes of June 8th, 2023, and the closed session minutes of May 30th and June 8th of 2023. May I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes pending corrections?
So moved.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. I have a statement that we would like to read before going into public comment. So before we begin the public comment on agenda items, I'd like to clear up some confusion and correct some misinformation related to the development on the corner of Northfield and South Livingston Avenue. I want to give a brief explanation of what occurred at our prior council meeting on May 30th, 2023. At that meeting, the council introduced on first reading ordinance number 15-2023 to adopt a redevelopment plan for that property. The vote on the introduction of that ordinance passed 3-1, with one member voting present. However, that ordinance by state statute requires a review of the planning board before the council can consider it for final adoption. Specifically, NJSA 40A:12A-7E provides in relevant part, prior to the adoption of a redevelopment plan or revision or amendment thereto, the planning board shall transmit to the governing body within 45 days after referral a report containing its recommendation concerning the redevelopment plan. In that regard, on that same night, the council had a companion resolution, resolution number 23-160, referring the redevelopment plan to the planning board pursuant to state statute. That resolution was not approved by the council and was specifically voted down by a vote of 3-2. The council has received a clarifying opinion from our municipal attorney that since the referral to the planning board failed, that the introduction of the ordinance is deemed to be incomplete, and therefore the ordinance was not properly introduced on May 30th, and there is nothing currently pending related to that ordinance. If at a later time the council wishes to reconsider the redevelopment plan, the ordinance would have to be reintroduced and referred to the planning board before it could be considered for adoption. Thank you. So before I ask to open public comments on agenda items, Mr. Lewis or Mr. Cantor or do you have any items for closed session tonight? And if so, can you give a reason why we're going into closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. On the agenda, we have fair share housing litigation. It's a carryover from our last meeting. And I also have a litigation update.
Thank you. Barry, do you have anything?
I believe we listed an item for redevelopment proposal on Eisenhower, the attorney-client privilege.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Hold on. I don't think Justin heard what property that was.
It's Eisenhower, it is block,
I think the fan is in the back is giving a little.
5800, lot 44. It's Eisenhower, immediately south of Parkview.
Thank you. Thank you. Justin, we'll take that in when it's time for a public comment. You could ask. Just keep one open. Thank you. So I may have a motion to open the public portion on agenda items only. May I have a second? Second. Okay. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? So at this time, the meeting is now open for agenda items only. There's a 4-minute time limit per person. So if you do come up to the microphone, may you please have your name and address for the record? Hi, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. 23174 Fair Share Housing Litigation. What property is that involved, please?
So, Mr. Alpert, we have our compliance hearing on August 17th. We're currently negotiating regarding the Livingston Mall, the Westminster Hotel, and 70 South Orange Avenue.
Any chance you'd like to hold those hearings in public so the public could know what's going on with those properties?
No, we can't. We're under, what's the terminology?
Well,
Yeah,
it's ongoing litigation.
Litigation, yes.
And we're currently negotiating with all the developers and Fair Share Housing.
Are you under the same duress that you were with the last round of Fair Share Housing?
We're still in that. We haven't changed rounds. The next round becomes 2025.
Are you in discussion about the changes in the law that you would like to see for the next round, so we're not under the same duress in the next round?
That's up to the legislation.
Right. Are you preparing advocacy to the legislature so we could change the law?
I don't know what anybody else is doing, but I am talking to some legislators because 2025 is a brand new set of numbers.
Resolution 23166, can we pull this from the consent agenda and have an open conversation? What is it that we're doing here? What is the advantages of participating in this? What are the disadvantages? There should be some discussion here. It's not clear from the resolution. Authorizing inclusion in Essex City Urban County Development Program.
That's the annual.
Mr. Lewis or Russ, could you just explain what 23-166 is?
The township for many years has participated in the Essex County Community Development Block Grant Program. We are part of a consortium because you have to have a population of 50,000 to go directly to HUD. So the county has a consortium of 18 towns. I believe the 4 that are not in it are Newark, Irvington, I think East Orange, and I think Bloomfield. Those are the 4 that can go directly to HUD. So the county makes application to HUD on our behalf, on the consortium's behalf, and then we apply to the county for a share of those community development block grant funds.
And what do we do with those funds?
Well, it's, community development is a program primarily for low and moderate income. So mostly what we're able to do now is barrier-free or ADA type of thing, handicap accessibility.
That's not up to developers?
This is not.
No, this is projects that we
This
do.
is nothing to do.
Projects that we
This
do,
is
public
this is
projects.
township
Yeah,
projects.
an example,
Yeah,
we
it has
use
nothing
this,
Okay.
we use this funding to obtain ADA accessible vans for SYLS to transport seniors.
Some
We used
buses.
it to put the automatic door openers on police
Okay.
headquarters.
Is there any downside to participation?
No.
Not at
No,
all.
you have to
Free
re-up,
money.
opt in every, I believe it's every 3 years, it's a requirement to participate, so.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Ordinance 2023 redevelopment plan 45 South Livingston Avenue. Obviously, the area needs to be redeveloped. Is there any reason we should slow down on that until we kind of figure out what we're going to do with the schools to be able to support the number of units we're putting in? We know that Mount Pleasant can't support it. We believe that Harrison can't support it. What are we going to do? Where are we going to place these students?
That's a question that the school board and the council are going to have to come up with. But it's, we can't stop redevelopment, and that is an area that needs to be redeveloped.
Should we have considered the schools along the way? I mean,
We have a great partnership with the schools, and we will be.
have we already granted a pilot with respect to that property?
Say that again?
Have we already granted a pilot?
Nothing's been granted, Justin.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Is anybody else? Agenda items only? Madam Clerk, has any written comments been received by your office?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Hearing no more comments, may I have a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only? May I have a second? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Thank you. At this time, we have 4 final ordinances for second reading. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance number 14-2023 by title.
Ordinance 14-2023, amending Article 9, Section 170 to 73, Design Standards of the Township of Livingston Municipal Code by adding B16 Green Building Design Provision.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to open public hearing? May I have a second? All in favor? Opposed? So the public hearing on ordinance number 14-2023 is now opened. If any resident wishes to speak on this ordinance, come up to the microphone. Please give us your name and address for the record. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close? May I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, may I have a motion to move ordinance 14-2023? May I have a second? Second. Do any council members have any comments on ordinance 14-20-2023?
I do, Mayor.
Yeah, you do? Okay. Councilman?
I'm really happy that the council's looking to do this. I know it got passed on a unanimous vote on the first reading, and I'm hoping that it'll be passed on the second reading in the same way as well. What this is going to do is create a floor for green building design for any buildings that are built in areas of need of redevelopment. So there are a lot of times when there's construction or projects that are done in town, and the builders don't really think of any opportunities to do green building in terms of how much solar they put in terms of using heat pumps instead of air conditioning, which saves 90% of the energy, on using green roofs, which can decrease the amount of energy a building uses. These are all low-hanging fruit and not very expensive items, and what they can do is really make a building green. It can increase it'll decrease the carbon output of the building for the entire lifetime of the building. And there's a whole number of other items that are included along in this ordinance that go along that list. I think that when you are in a process of having areas in need of redevelopment in the town, this is the only opportunity that the town has to try to increase the green development in the area. Normally, builders are only held to what's called the Universal Construction Code, and that code is designated by the state, and the towns can do nothing about it. But when the town enters into an agreement to name an area in need of redevelopment, the town then can say, you have to build according to these standards. And I'm really excited about how green the new buildings are going to be that come into this town. I think that one thing we can all take solace in is that the people who will move into these areas are going to be people who care about this issue. So we know that the younger people are, the more they care about the environment, the more they care about climate change, and they're going to be attracted to these buildings, and they're going to bring in a certain mindset to be worried about society. They're going to be willing to pay up a little bit for green development because they care about these issues, and they're going to be educated, and they're going to bring the next generation of outstanding children that like the ones we saw today to come into the school system and into our town and make us all proud. So I think that this is a win-win-win for everybody. It's going to save money in the long run. It's going to create a greener environment for the town, and I'm really proud of this. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Klein. Does any other council members have any comments on 14-2023? Madam Clerk, please proceed with the roll call.
Councilmembers Meinhardt?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Begoli?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Mayor Viera?
Yes. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance number 16-2023 by title.
On ordinance 16-2023, bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $2,655,000 for improvements to water utility system.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to open public hearing? May I have a second? All in favor? Opposed? Public hearing on ordinance number 16-2023 is now opened. Any residents who would like to come up to the microphone, can we please have your name and address for the record? Appreciate it. May I have a second to close public hearing?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? May I have a motion to move ordinance 16-2023? May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Do council members have any comments on ordinance 16-2023? Madam Clerk, please proceed with the roll call, please.
Councilmembers Meinhardt?
Yes.
Klein?
Councilman Klein?
Anytime you want to vote. Sorry.
Begoli?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony? Mayor Viera?
Yes. Thank you. We're on the third one. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance number 17-2023 by title.
Ordinance 17-2023, bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $4,255,000 for improvements to sewer utility system.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to open public hearing? May I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The public hearing on ordinance number 17-2023 is now opened. Any residents may come up to the microphone. Please leave your name and address for the record. May I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? May I have a motion to move ordinance 17-2023? May I have a second?
Second.
Do any council members have any comments on ordinance 17-2023? Madam Clerk, please proceed with the roll call, please.
Councilmembers Meinhardt?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Begoli?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Mayor Viera?
Yes. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance number 18-2023 by title.
Ordinance 18-2023, bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $3,935,000 for various road improvements.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to open public hearing? May I have a second? Second. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? Public hearing on ordinance number 18-2023 is now opened. If any residents may want to come up to the microphone, please leave your name and address for the record. Motion to close public hearing. May I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to move ordinance 18-2023?
Motion.
May I have a second? Second. Do any council members have any comments on ordinance 18-2023?
Mayor, I would just say that, road improvements are something that is always a huge capital project. We get a lot of comments on conditions of roads, and I always like to remind people that Livingston is the size of Newark, basically, and there are an enormous number of miles of roads in towns, and of course, we would like to keep every road in perfect shape all the time. We do what's humanly possible if we want to keep taxes under control. So we're always mindful about which roads need the most work, and our engineering department works very hard to categorize and prioritize those. This is just the use of, you can see we're spending no small amount of funds to help rejuvenate the roads in Livingston. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Today I received an email from our town engineer. There's actually 109 miles of road in Livingston. It's quite a lot. Madam Clerk, please proceed with the roll call.
Council members Meinhardt,
Yes.
Klein,
Sorry about that.
Bagoli,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony.
Yes.
Mayor Vieira.
Yes, thank you. We are now at the, let me see, can you read ordinance number 19-2023 by title?
Ordinance 19-2023.
Mayor, I believe Councilman Klein has to recuse himself on this, so we'll give him an opportunity to. Thank you.
Redevelopment Plan 45 South Livingston Avenue.
And Mayor, I just want to make a comment. So, and thank you, Mayor, and for explaining what happened last meeting. And as you explained, an ordinance like this to approve a redevelopment plan has to have planning board review before we can adopt it. Last meeting, there was a resolution referring it. Our township typically doesn't have that resolution. It's not wrong. A lot of municipalities take the position which we have when the council introduces an ordinance, they're by inference referring it to the planning board. That's been our practice for a number of years. I believe that practice predates me. So going forward, and at least for tonight, and I'll try to remind the council when they're approving these types of ordinances for introduction, that you're not only approving it for introduction, but you're also referring it to the planning board. So if you don't wish to have it referred to the planning board, you should vote no on its introduction, because by introducing it, you're also the only way to introduce these types of ordinances is also refer it to the planning board. So we've never required a resolution before, and there's no resolution on tonight referring it. So if you vote to introduce this ordinance, it will be referred to the planning board.
I'm sorry, you said it will be referred to the
It
planning
will be referred to the planning board.
Okay.
Is there a reason why we have to change what we've done before?
So the last meeting was an aberration for what we have done. I guess we had a new redevelopment council who sent us the resolution. I guess he does that in other towns. Livingston hasn't typically had that resolution. So I'm just advising all the governing body members. So when we're introducing these ordinances, if you don't want to have it referred, then you should vote no on its introduction.
Okay, so with that said, may I have a motion to approve ordinance number 19-2023 for introduction and fix a date for the second reading and public hearing?
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please proceed with the roll call.
Councilmember Meinhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Bagoli,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony,
Yes.
Mayor Vieira.
Yes.
And the date will be July 24th.
Okay, the public hearing will be July 24th. Thank you very much. At this point, we're on the consent agenda. Oh, we'll wait for Councilman Klein to return. No, Justin, we'll. So, all matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Madam Clerk, please read all the resolutions on the consent agenda by title and resolution number.
Resolution 23-164, authorizing the sale of surplus personal property no longer needed for public use. Resolution 23-165, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant agreement with NJDOT for the milling and repaving of Martin Road. Resolution 23-166, authorizing inclusion in Essex County Urban County Community Development Program for federal fiscal years 2024 through 2026. Resolution 23-167, annual liquor license renewal. Resolution 23-168, authorizing disposition of surplus vehicles. Resolution 23-169, authorizing a contract with S. Rotondi and Sons Incorporated. Resolution 23-170, authorizing the award of a contract to Cupola Services, Inc. Resolution 23-171, authorizing the award of a contract to Corin, Maine. Resolution 23-172, authorizing the award of a contract to Ferguson Waterworks. Resolution 23-173, authorizing the award of a contract to Raritan Group, Inc.
Thank you. Jared, I just have one question on one of them. Do I have to pull it if I just have one simple question?
Oh, you could ask the question.
Carolyn, on Resolution 23-167, the annual liquor license renewal, is that all of them? Because I know last year one missed and we had to have a special meeting. So do we have all of them covered?
That is all of them.
Thank you.
We were 100% this year.
Thank you very much. Do any council members wish to have any items removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and voting? Then may I have a motion to approve the resolutions remaining on the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
May I have a second? All in favor? I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, please roll call, please.
Council members Meinhardt?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Begoli?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Mayor Viera?
Yes. So at this point, we're at the public portion on any subject. May I have a motion to open the public portion on any subject?
So moved.
May I have a second? Second. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? So the meeting is now open on any subject with a 3-minute time limit. If you do come up to the microphone, can you please give us your name and address for the record? Hi, Amy, how are you?
Good evening. How are you? Good evening. My name is Amy Yip, 101 Martin Road. My statement and questions are regarding the lawsuit filed by a whistleblower against our police department and town manager. Please note that I know no one in our police department and have no stake in the outcome other than wanting the best for our town and for any individuals employed by Livingston. Have each one of you read the complaint in its entirety and reached your own conclusion? The conclusion of our town manager was printed in the West Essex Tribune June 15th, who dismissed the complaint as a dissatisfaction on the part of one of our detectives who participated in a process for promotion to sergeant. I too read the complaint and came to a totally different conclusion. The lawsuit noted that the majority of the complaints have been investigated and sustained by internal affairs. This situation has gone on for over a 2-year period. The facts are not in dispute. It is my hope that our town council would support an institution that is free of bullying, a positive work environment for all employees, and that a hardworking person with a good work record, stellar skills and education, as well as the highest score on the sergeant exam, be awarded a promotion. My second question is financial. Does the town council plan to give regular updates on the legal fees incurred? I will conclude that trust in our institutions and elected officials is essential. I hope that each one of you will reach an independent conclusion regarding this lawsuit and work towards positive change in our largest town department, but also one that touches each one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Does anyone else from the public wish to speak? Hi, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. At the last meeting, we discussed that there is a hole in the ground on Amherst Place where a house used to be, and was wondering if anyone had a chance to check up on that, please.
I actually did, Barry, did we send code enforcement over there?
Yeah, well, I know I forwarded that, and I'm looking quickly to see if I got a response back.
And while we are waiting, we do need to keep in our thoughts, there was a fire on that street.
There was a fire on that
And
street.
also
The
we,
fire department came out early in the morning and shut that down, and the fire department should be commended for doing the
It was a
regular, everyday work that
it
they
was
do.
a Father's Day fire, and
Yeah.
they do definitely need to be commended, but we also have to think about the people in that house also, so.
Who all got out safely, my understanding.
Yes.
So we are okay, and Livingston's okay in that regard.
So
While we're
ju-
waiting, let me
so
just.
while we're waiting, Justin, we did, I know that we did,
I'm not seeing anything quickly, but I will follow up.
Okay, thank you. Second point, a lot of good quality business goes on in the conference meeting. Has this council given any further consideration to broadcasting the conference meetings on the internet so people can see and perhaps participate in that business, please? I second that. Yeah, bipartisan support for it.
sorry, it's been a working meeting, and historically, they have not been on
That is
shown on
correct.
television. So, you know what, unless we have a full council who considers it, but
the public considers it important. What would we have to do to make that happen so the public can participate and see that more easily, because there's so much important
Yeah.
work done over there?
I do know that that room is not set up with the camera system.
But I mean, we could
yet.
do that. It would cost a few
So-
$1,000s. We have the setup here. We could set up a table here if we really wanted to. Could we look into that, please?
I could look into that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Justin. Is there anyone else from the audience? Hey, Lucas.
Lucas Zoo, 15 Rail Terrace. I have a couple words. I was going to start off by congratulating the valedictorian and salutatorian. I think they've left now. But I know both of them very well. They put in a lot of hard work and dedication throughout all 4 years of high school. And as I spoke with Councilwoman Begoli earlier, I think this might be my final town council meeting I'll be attending while still a resident of Livingston, at least under my parents' roof. So I might be back later. So I've really enjoyed attending all these meetings, the local political events, seeing what our town government has planned for Livingston to be a better place. And throughout these past 2 years, I've truly understood how municipal government is the most important and most impactful level of government in our lives. And I also want to thank all 5 council members, former Mayor Fernandez, Mr. Cantor, Keaton, for helping me engage others in the town's political process, supporting me in helping other young people and high schoolers in politics during my time as chairman of the High School Democrats Club. And I really hope that younger generations continue to be energized and involved with local politics of Livingston. And to that end, I actually have a suggestion. So I know a couple of New Jersey towns, such as Maplewood, have youth advisory committees for their town councils, where high schoolers and council members meet to discuss various political issues and develop solutions for issues pertaining to the youth. And I think Livingston would benefit from having such a youth advisory committee, as it could further engage young and passionate residents into our political system. Even though I might be gone, I think this would be a great thing that high schoolers could have the opportunity to join in future years. And finally, as I told Commissioner Siebold a couple days ago, I promised her I'd come back from time to vote and stay engaged. I hope that this November I'll be back for Election Day to cast my vote and attend the results reading.
Mail,
And
vote
I
my
will vote my
mail.
mail too, both. I will do both. I want to come back home though. I'm not that far. I can take
Don't
my-
do both. Don't do both.
Oh, no, wait, no. I'll come back home. I'll come back home. I will come back home. But it's really been a pleasure to be involved with local government politics. Can't wait to come back home to my home of Livingston very shortly. So thank you all very much again.
Great.
Good luck at Penn, Lucas.
Lucas, it's been great getting to know you, and congratulations on your graduation. To where are you going? UPenn. Oh my, wow. It's going to be fact, isn't it? So congratulations, though. It's great getting to know you. Is there anyone else in the public that would like to make any comments? Do I see Bob Hunter? Welcome back, Bob. Absolutely. Be my guest.
Don't eat it.
You're trusting Jared with an apple pie?
Well, we can all see him. Hi, Bob Hunter, formerly a 50-year resident of Livingston, 89 Elmwood Drive. And I love tonight watching the kids, all the awards. And I want to tell you something special about that. on Flag Day, many of us were at the ceremonies, and I parked in St. Phil's parking lot, and as I walked into the scene of the Oval, I walked past groups of students, and this is what impressed me. I said to them, "Good morning, everyone," and they said, "Good morning, sir. Have a nice day." I was like, wow, they weren't doing this, you know. They looked at me. Then another group, same thing, "Good morning, everyone," and they all said the same thing. And that tells me what's going on. When you stop people or see them on the street, especially the kids, you know, this is what we're proud of. I mean, we put 4 kids through Livingston a year apart. The only problem we had was on a meeting. My wife and I couldn't cover all the classes at the same time. So, but tonight I'm here because on Flag Day, there was a very special thing happen there. Brian Boyle does a great job with the veterans, introducing everyone. It was beautiful. But at the end, Joe Leitner, one of the veterans, came forward, and he led us in singing "God Bless America." But then he took it to another level. He said, "I want everyone to sing 'It's a Grand Old Flag.'" Now, that's an old number, and yet everybody belted out whatever they could do with it. And I want to point out tonight that that Grand Old Flag song was written by the great Broadway composer George M. Cohan, who was the only person, civilian, to be given the Congressional Medal of Honor in our history of our country. It's always been given to a veteran, but as a civilian, in World War I, he wrote "Grand Old Flag" and "Over There." So tonight, as I stand here, it's just proud to be here because Livingston is so much part of my life. All these great people here, ones before them who I got to know, and you keep it up. This is beautiful. And I like tonight what the boy said about the council and about the Board of Education working together, because years ago it wasn't quite close. Now it is. And so this is what our country's about. Livingston is a perfect example of America, what we do, what we can do. And tonight, I want to present an apple pie, it's been a tradition, to someone special here who is, I call, a pillar of the community. He's been helping this town since I believe he was 16 years old, and he's still here, as we say, putting points on the board every day. Russ Jones, I'd like to give you your apple pie.
Since Russ isn't here to take a picture.
Thank you, Bob, and it's always wonderful to have you come back to Livingston. It really is. Is there anybody else from the public who wishes to make comment? Madam Clerk, has any written public comments been received by your office?
No, Mayor.
Okay, so seeing no more public comments, may I have a motion to close the public portion on any subject?
I'll make the motion, please.
May I have a second? All in favor? Opposed? Oh, cool. All in favor? Okay, okay. We're at reports of township officials and professionals. Township Manager Barry Lewis?
Just a couple, Mayor. One of the things I just did want to highlight was one of the resolutions on the consent agenda that may have kind of passed. I'm glad, okay. Yeah. Was an award of a contract for the first remediation project for the PFAS in the water. I know that this has been a point of concern for all the residents. It's a nationwide problem. It's not just us. We've been very aggressive with our engineers and our professionals in trying to expedite our process. And tonight was kind of a milestone. It's the award of the first contract. It's $9 million. We again targeted the heaviest producing wells that produce the most water that will more quickly, as soon as those get remediated, allow us to filter off the other wells. So just a big thing, and I wanted the public to know that because I think it's good news. And again, a thank you to our engineers, both our consulting engineers, our in-house engineering department, our water utility engineer, Nathan Kirchhoff, our CFO, Ann Cucci, who's been heavily involved with the financing of it. So it's progress, and it's an important first step, and we will continue to work diligently towards that. So I did just want to highlight that. One other update. The LPRs, license plate readers, are all installed and up and operational and are really proving to be beneficial. The police department and the chief have utilized the technology to identify, and they flood an area. If a stolen car comes into town, they immediately flood the area. There's been success in kind of stopping and people leaving as soon as they see all these cop cars coming around. Police department was also used some of that technology and a lot of just hard work by our detective bureau in leading to the apprehension of a couple of youths who were part of a ring of car thieves that were hitting all of North Jersey. And so again, a big shout out to them. I do want to just, to Ms. Zip, if to the extent my comment or statement in the paper seemed dismissive, it was not intended that way. We take any complaint raised internally very seriously. I can assure you that any and all the allegations, and again, recognizing they're just allegations at this point, they're all being investigated, and I think the chief takes them more seriously than I do. So to Chief Marshutz, he's not here obviously, but I defend him in the sense that he has the highest level of integrity, and I can assure you everything's being taken very seriously. Obviously, we can't discuss details because it's litigation and personnel, but we do take it very, very seriously. And without speaking for them, I know all the council were all aware of it, all got copied on the complaint, took it equally seriously. So I did want to mention that. And then last, on more of a high note, only because Bob Hunter reminded me, I'll just jump on as well. The Flag Day, I attended the Flag Day ceremony, and just really a recognition for our veterans group. They do such a great day, and I was also impressed with just sort of the level of patriotism, and they always do such a great job. So Brian Boyle and his whole team and all that, and Bob still attends them all. All right, thank you. That was it.
Thank you, Barry. Russ, you have anything?
Yes, recently this month I attended the countywide public hearing on the community development program, and we are now included in their applications here. We had put an application in for a sensory perception trailer. It's for individuals that maybe have problems with noises at certain events and they need an area where they can just go and decompress or just have a quiet area for a little while. So they're recommending that we'll be part of that, so we're hoping that it gets approved by HUD.
And I don't think there's too many of those in Essex County, so congratulations
this
on that
could be a first for them.
award.
Yep.
Good. Thank you. Anything else, Russ? Assistant Township Manager Adam Lerner?
No update at this time.
Thank you. Carolyn, do you have anything?
Nothing for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. CFO Ancucci, anything?
I have a couple of things. I just wanted to mention, you talk about having some of the kids come, and we have quite an aggressive internship here, especially in the summer. I have two interns. Adam really led on that. But I have two great kids, one really young who's coming, 14, who's really interested in government. I get excited about, they want to come to finance, you know. So we do a lot. And how many? We have a number of interns. We encourage them to contact us and do that. The other thing I wanted to mention in the ordinances, especially for the roads, we do get those New Jersey DOT grants that offset quite a bit of that money for the paving of certain roads. We apply all the time. And the other thing that's been going on is fraud. There's been some fraudulent activity. I know nobody's listening, but I just want to mention to you that it's extremely dangerous. No joke that we've been attacked. Nobody cares. No, we've been attacked. All last week, we caught it, we found it. The police have been amazing helping me, but for the last 5 days, we've been stopping an attack. And it's not a joke. They got in and I can't really talk about what they did, but no money really was lost. It's just making sure that nothing happens at this point. So keep an eye on it, because they come after you, you won't even know it.
And,
Thank you.
and also, this is, I think, for the benefit of the public and one for the council, this wasn't a cybersecurity type attack. This is old-fashioned intercepting paper checks, modifying them, phone depositing them, replacing the payee and things of that nature. And so be careful with your mail, be careful with your paper checks.
Well, thank you, Ann. Township Attorney Jared Cantor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to comment tonight on the Mulaney matter, only to say that it is an ongoing litigation, and don't take this council's silence as them not taking it seriously. They're all under advice of counsel not to comment, but I can tell you the township is taking this complaint very seriously. I reiterate what Township Manager Mr. Lewis said. We have done some preliminary litigation investigation, and I can tell you that that has shown that I believe that the chief, the captain, the Livingston Police Department, its officers, and our township manager have acted appropriately at all times relevant. I can't really get into the specifics of it, but the township remains steadfast in defending the complaint, vindicating the department, the chief, and the named officers. As far as costs go, it's an insured defense, so we have an insurance that's defending us through our carrier, so there won't be individual bills to the township for it. To the extent I can provide the public with updates on litigation and how it's proceeding through the courts, I'll do that.
Thank you very much. We're at the point of the agenda for council comments. Councilman Ed Meinhardt?
Thank you. Just a couple of quick ones. First of all, it's been a few weeks since we met, so a belated Happy Father's Day to all the fathers here and in the community. Second of all, I know there's been a lot of discussion about the futures of the Livingston pools, but I'd like to just compliment Jen Walker and her own entire staff for the current situation of the pool. It is open at Haynes. It is running well. There are new chairs. There are new umbrellas. And I know people are very happy there. So just, and Ron Barbella as well, and to everyone who's worked on the pool. So kudos to them. And third of all, next week is July 4th. I see 2 July 4th committee members here in attendance. We thank them for all their work and everything that they've done. Look forward to participating in all the events and praying for some good weather as well. And Bob Hunter, it is always a pleasure to see you here. So thank you for coming back. And Lucas, also, congratulations to you. It's been great getting to know you. You've been a great part of the FBLA that you had talked about that we did together. And we wish you all the best as well. We look forward to seeing you back many times.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sean Klein.
I just agree with what Ed said. That's it. Thank you.
That's because I said you hadn't voted.
Wow, okay. Councilwoman Rosie Begoli.
I just want to thank, I'll echo what Ed said, he said. Happy Father's Day. Also want to congratulate, I know tonight we congratulated the salutatorian and honored both the salutatorian and valedictorian, but I also want to give a big shout out to the class of 2023. The entire class is deserving of a congratulations from the council. So congratulations to all of you for all your many accomplishments and best of luck in the future. I also just want to make one correction. I did not receive a copy of the complaint, but I have read it. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor, that leaves us a lot of stuff to talk about this time. Usually we run out of stuff, but you have anything? Don't say no.
Couple things. Barry, thank you for that report on PFAS and the license plate readers. That sounds terrific. I did want to, Lucas, we brought some high school kids. We amended the ordinance this year for the LEC, and I attend those meetings. I'm the liaison, and it's terrific. So we do like to hear their opinion, and actually, you know, they've been on some initiatives as well that we're either looking at or starting to implement. So I thought that was a great idea, and good luck on everything. You're terrific. I think that's it. You know what? Since Sean was so brief tonight, I'm going to give him props on green design. Ordinance 14-2023, and thank you for, you know, I know your heart is in it and your constant, relentless pursuit of all things green. And I respect it, and, you know, that's where my heart is, too. So thank you for all your hard work on that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and that leaves me with quite a few things because I didn't think, I thought that there was nothing going to be left for me. But I do want to repeat what Ed had said. July 4th, event and activities will be held next week, and we have 2 great volunteers here, Justin Elpert and Ketan Bhutani, and I want to thank you and the entire volunteer committee for what you're going to be doing next next week. Activities kick off at Haynes Pool at 9 o'clock. There's a car show, kids activities all day. The Northland Complex, which K-Town will be in charge of, will also have cricket and pickleball. There'll be food trucks at both venues, both at the Oval and at Northland. There's going to be a beer and wine garden over at the Oval. There's going to be several bands and much more throughout the day, including at 9 o'clock when we have our spectacular fireworks. So, which we get probably sometimes about 10,000 people coming out. So get a seat early and enjoy the concert. Our Sunday summer concert starts Sunday, July 9th at 7 p.m. at the Beck Gazebo, and there'll be concerts each of the following Sundays until August 6th. Want to thank and congratulate a local business, Fruitables. They just today celebrated their 6-year anniversary being open. So I was over there today, and I want to congratulate Gianna for a 6-year anniversary. Last week, I had the honor of presenting Anna Ferreira with a town recognition on achieving the Girl Scouts' highest honor, the Gold Star. I also had the honor of attending Friday night a presentation and presenting Edward Lopez a town recognition with him achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. So both congratulations to both Anna and Edward. So the pool committee was supposed to meet and give a report in June. They are ready. However, today's meeting was a little bit packed, so they will be presenting their report on July 10th here in the regular meeting. So we will be hearing from them. Again, I want to thank the Livingston Volunteer Fire Department for putting out quickly that Father's Day fire over on Amherst. Great job. If anybody wants to become a volunteer fireman, you know what? It's something that the community definitely does need. I want to also thank Roseland for helping with mutual aid for that fire. Want to congratulate, as Barry had said, our police department. Our entire police department, they captured a ring of thieves that were hitting many places up and down North Jersey. And it was a big deal because once they started running them, they realized that they were hitting multiple places. And I just want to congratulate them. It was a foot chase, but I believe they got all of them, so that's wonderful. And the last thing I want to just say is that now that we're officially into summer, hoping everybody has a wonderful and safe summer. So thank you very much. At that time, right now we're going to remain in open session, and we're going to go back into the conference room and finish those agendas on the conference agenda. Our next meeting will be scheduled for July 10th, 2023. Thank you.